powerful questions are around discerning purpose and creating vision. Now, Rilke wrote a great poem that gets right at the heart of this. He's writing about the transformative power of this pull of purpose. It's a poem called A Walk. He says, my vision, my eyes, my vision, already touches the sunny hill, going far ahead of the road I have begun, and so we are grasped by what we cannot grasp. It has its inner light, even from a distance, and changes us, even if we do not reach it. And so we are grasped by what we cannot grasp. It has its inner light, even from a distance, and changes us, even if we do not reach it, into something else, which hardly sensing it, we already are. A gesture waves us on, answering our own wave, but what we feel is the wind in our face. Warren Bennis once wrote a book called On Becoming a Leader. He interviewed hundreds of leaders at the tops of their profession. It became a book primarily about purpose, the pull of purpose, the transformative pull of purpose. And he wrote at one point, he said, these leaders did not set out to become leaders per se. They set out to follow an urge that they could not pursue. And it led them into leadership. And so the principle here is allow yourself to be grasped by what you cannot grasp, to cultivate the longing, and it does the work. It's pulling you into a larger version of yourself. And so we are grasped by what we cannot grasp. It has its inner light, even from a distance, and changes us even if we do not reach it, into something else, which hardly sensing it, we already are. You already are the leader you aspire to. The hero or heroine is already there. All that's needed, it's not that more needs to be added, actually. It's that less. It's how do we let go of the older, earlier versions, that are not yet complex enough to mediate that level of greatness. So we are grasped by what we cannot grasp. And then at the end he says, a gesture waves us on, answering our own wave. I used to think about this practice of distilling purpose and discerning and creating vision as stalking your longing, like a hunter stalks a deer. But as Steve Jobs said at the Stanford speech at graduation, he said, you can't connect the dots looking back, you can only connect the dots looking forward. As I look back over my life and look at all of this and what's happened, and I see how all the dots connect, I realize now the longing has been stalking me the whole time. And so this is the practice. Learning the practice or discipline, stalking the longing that's stalking me. And so I'd like you to ask yourself these questions. I'll give you a moment to reflect, and then I'll have you talk to a partner. What do you stand for? What would you do if you could, if you knew you weren't going to get fired or fail? What do you want your life to contribute? I was recently, Mary Oliver wrote a poem that ends like this. She says, doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?